A massive winter storm bears down on the Bluegrass State. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey with an updated call for heavy snowfall just ahead.
One message is, of course, if you don't absolutely need to be out driving, avoid it. The safe thing to do is stay home.
Mayor Jim Gray and city leaders want to protect families from that massive winter storm headed our way. We'll tell you how they're preparing.
We'll tell you how state officials are preparing for the incoming winter weather.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. WKYT News starts now with First Alert Weather.
Get ready for a very snowy start to your work week. Thanks for staying up with us. I'm Kristen Kennedy. This time tomorrow, we could see a foot of snow in many areas of the Bluegrass. That's why it's a First Alert Severe Weather Day here at WKYT. And that's why we begin our winter weather team coverage with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Yeah, winter storm warning continues in effect, Kristen, for the entire state of Kentucky. Nothing has changed with that. A few counties have been added to that into parts of Indiana and Ohio. That extends into parts of the Deep South. We are watching live First Alert Defender, Kentucky's most powerful live Doppler radar, into parts of the Bluegrass country. You're looking at Defender. You're looking at your Defender app. It's picking up on a little snow, but that snow is up in the clouds. It's evaporating before it can actually get down to the ground. So it's kind of moistening up the atmosphere. Getting reports of a little snow around Brandenburg here in Meade County, parts of southern sections of Indiana, Illinois, and back into parts of Missouri. Watch how we begin to see the returns now expanding west of Paducah, right along the Mississippi River, and where you see kind of the spotted nature of that is showing a lot of unstable air. We're going to see that blowing up as we go through the next several hours. So we'll watch this corridor that I've outlined in the blue here for heavy snow to develop as we go through the next few hours. Already in the process of doing just that. Whatever develops across parts of Missouri and northern Arkansas has a ticket for central and eastern Kentucky very late tonight and into the day tomorrow. Updated call for snowfall continues with a swath of 6 to 12 inches for the entire state of Kentucky. We have somewhere in there from the Lexington Metro back to the southwest along the BG Parkway and points east, a swath of what will likely be a little heavier snow on the tune of 8 to 14 inches. I've added a 10 to 16 inch swath for parts of central and eastern Kentucky to this mix. Some indications that somebody in this particular red area could even do better than that with these snows that develop late tonight and tomorrow. And again, most of what falls is going to be after sunup tomorrow. So you wake up, you look outside, you see bare ground. The storm is coming during the day tomorrow. Travel impact, high. Snow impact, high. Cold that will follow that up is also into the high category as well. So this is likely to be, at least for a while, Kristen, a shutdown snow for much of the Bluegrass State, and it's going to be followed up by Arctic air, maybe historic cold temperatures coming into play by the middle and end of the week. We will talk about that, and plus we'll show you how tomorrow has at least a chance of becoming the snowiest day on record for the city of Lexington. Lots to talk about when I come back in a few minutes.
Chris, leaders in Lexington are preparing for the big winter storm. Today, Mayor Jim Gray held a conference to go over plans and caution people from being outside. Our team coverage continues with Jordan Valines. She is live in Lexington, where shoppers have been scrambling to grab essentials before the snow starts falling. Jordan?
That's right. It's past 11 o'clock at night, yet there are still several shoppers out here at the Walmart in Hamburg, many of them stocking up those last-minute supplies that they'll need before tomorrow's big storm. On Sunday,
stocking up on bread and milk.
It was a race to the checkout line at the Hamburg Walmart.
But everybody's stocking up
as shoppers poured in.
It was crazy. We ran out of carts twice. We've ran out of bags once. All the lunch meat is almost gone.
Piling their carts high with the essentials.
The bread is almost gone off the shelves. Yes, and just the milk is almost gone also.
While also wondering,
is it really going to be that bad?
What Old Man Winter has in store for them. The impending winter weather prompted Lexington Mayor Jim Gray to hold a press conference Sunday.
We are here to talk about the city's preparations for several inches of snow that are forecast to fall over the next 24 hours.
The preparations in place include emergency responders standing by to help with the snow, extra police patrol monitoring the interstates and other major roadways, while, of course, road crews will be all hands on deck, working to plow and treat the roadways as needed. Road crews are expected to report to work tonight at midnight. Live in Lexington, Jordan Valines, WKYT.
The threat of severe weather has some shoppers starting to stockpile goods. Employees at United Grocery Outlet in Hazard say they get up to 4 times the typical customer load the day before a snowstorm. They say they always stock extra food onto the shelves in anticipation of a big snowfall.
People tend to stock up large amounts of food when it gets ready to snow. I don't know what they do if they eat it all at one point in time, but they stock up an incredible amount of food.
Employees say the most popular pre-snow storm purchases are milk, bread, and eggs. And road crews across the state are working to keep drivers safe tonight. Crews in Franklin County will be heading out to treat roads overnight in preparation of the snowfall. WKYT Sam Smith continues our winter team coverage from Frankfort.
It'll be pretty much all hands on deck.
Keeping the interstates clear, that's the top priority for the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet. Crews will report before dawn Monday morning, working 12-hour shifts.
We're about as prepared as you can be for something like this.
Chuck Wolf with the Transportation Cabinet says the state has plenty of salt to work with, as much as they can hold right now. Sunday's weather also allowed some crews to pre-treat roads.
We'll get through this snowfall event in good fashion.
Over at the Emergency Operations Center, extra crews will be on duty overnight to monitor the impact of any winter weather.
This becomes a central gathering point for all requests for service and all notifications from the county up to the state.
If the weather causes any issues, Director Michael Dossett says representatives from other state agencies are available by phone. If those issues get worse, those representatives will be right here in the building. State officials expect the weather this week to be challenging, but they're confident they'll be ready to keep everyone safe, and they ask folks to look out for one another.
Don't forget your neighbor. Check on your neighbor. Look at the needs locally in your community.
In Frankfort, Sam Smith, WKYT.
Road crews in Pike County are preparing for the big snowfall. Leaders at Utility Management Group are making sure all of their workers are prepared. They say they do have a snow plan in place.
We'll have about 7 trucks, probably 6 backhoes, 3 skid steers, a couple of smaller Kubotas, and with snow plows and stuff, so we got ample equipment.
Salt is already on the roads in Pikeville. Crews say they'll start moving snow as soon as it starts falling. Lexington road crews have already had to deal with the scare of ice forming on a busy street today. A driver on Shenaway Road hit a fire hydrant this morning and sent hundreds of gallons of water gushing down the street. WKYT's Sean Moody shows us how the water company worked with the roads department to keep that water from freezing over.
It's hard to imagine a worse day for something like this to happen.
I was drinking tea, I got some water, I went to get back some more water, and suddenly no water.
Just before 11 o'clock this morning, firefighters said a driver ran over a fire hydrant along Shinaway Road between Pepper Hill and Mount Drive. Gallon after gallon of water rushed out of the ground, meeting 14-degree air and flooding Shinaway Road right outside Parviz Zartashti's house.
It's a mess. It's a mess.
As soon as Kentucky American water workers got the water stopped, a Streets and Roads truck got the debris out of the road and put salt down to make sure all that water didn't freeze. Emergency crews rushed that driver here to UK Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The main roads across Lexington stayed clear, but there were still some slick spots, like here along Lansdowne Drive. Judging by the tire tracks in the snow, drivers ran into a light pole and knocked down a stop sign. There were no reports of any serious injuries. A lot of people here may be wishing winter would get on out of here, but Parviz was taking it in stride.
Yeah, it's coming, but at least we're not in Boston.
That's for sure. In Lexington, Sean Moody, WKYT.
Due to the weather, UK is canceling all classes and closing all offices Monday. We're told only Plan B employees are required to report to work. UK healthcare hospital and clinics will open as scheduled. Dining services facilities on campus will also be open. You can always track severe weather when you're away from your TV with WKYT.com and the WKYT First Alert Defender Radar app for your iPad or smartphone. Be sure to help us track the snow. Send us your photos and videos using hashtag WKYT-RulesWinter. Tonight, police in Corbin have identified the teenager they believe may be responsible for shooting and killing his family. Yesterday morning, an officer in Baltimore County, Maryland, shot and killed 16-year-old Kentucky native Jason Hendricks. They say the vehicle Hendricks was driving is registered to a home on Forest Circle Drive in Corbin. After talking with Baltimore law enforcement, police in Corbin say they went to the home and found Kevin Hendricks, his wife Sarah, and their daughter shot to death inside. Today, grief counselors met with those who knew the Hendricks family.
That was not the Jason that we knew. That we had, there was no sign, nothing at all. It sounds crazy to say that because people think, well, you had to see something, you had to know something. We knew nothing.
The family also has an older daughter who we're told is away at college in Georgia. Lexington police have issued an arrest warrant for a man involved in a shooting. Police are looking for Eric Nutter. They say last week Nutter shot someone in the leg at Diamond's Gentlemen's Club on Winchester Road. They rushed the victim to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Nutter is charged with assault. He was a legendary reporter and a gifted storyteller who earned dozens of awards for his work. 60 Minutes correspondent Bob Simon's final piece aired on the program tonight. His daughter Tanya produced the story. Simon died earlier this week in New York City. Police say he was a passenger in a car that another driver hit. Simon joined CBS News in 1967 and covered most major overseas conflicts and news stories. During the 1991 Gulf War, the Iraqi government held Simon and his crew captive for nearly 6 weeks. He began work as a regular contributor to 60 Minutes in 1996. He was 73 years old. This year was another record-breaking one for UK's Dance Blue. The 24-hour dance marathon is in its 10th year. At the conclusion of the event today, students told participants they helped raise $1.6 million. In all, Dance Blue has raised more than $8.1 million for the pediatric cancer clinic at Kentucky's Children's Hospital.